Today we begin with a serious and disturbing story coming from Bentiu, the capital of United States in South Sudan. According to this information, at least 9 people have reportedly been killed, while 29 others were injured following violence inside the Bentiu internal displaced person camp. The incident reportedly happened after security forces from the government attempted to arrest a man known as Taban Paul, a self-proclaimed prophet who has reportedly claimed that is connected to or is the embodiment of the famous Nuer prophet Mundengbong. The situation reportedly became violent when some of the man's followers resisted the arrest. What started as a security operation reportedly turned into a confrontation involving civilian and security forces. There were reports of stone throwing, fighting, gunfire, and people running for safety. And because this happened inside an IDP camp, the incident has created even more concern. The Bentiu camp is home to people who have already experienced war, displacement, and loss. Many residents are women, many are children. There are people living with disabilities. There are families who have already lost their home and communities. For these people, the camp is supposed to provide protection. So when violence happens inside such a place, the impact can be very serious. Well, before we go deeper into what happened, let us first understand the person at the center of this incident and why his name has attracted attention. So, who is Taban Paul? The man at the center of the incident has been identified as Taban Paul. According to local report, he has presented himself as a prophet. He has also reportedly claimed to be the embodiment of Mundengbong. For people who are not familiar with South Sudanese history, particularly Nuer story, the name Mundengbong is very important. Mundengbong was one of the most famous traditional prophets among the Nuer. He lived during the 19th and early century and early 20th centuries. He is remembered as a major spiritual figure who was associated with Deng, the sky god. His influence continued long after his death. These stories about him have been passed from one generation to another. His songs and prophecies have also remained part of Nuer cultural memory. Mundengbong became so important that his name has sometimes appeared in discussions about politics, conflict, peace, and the future of South Sudan. A large train associated with him was built at Widang, in an area that is now part of Jonglei State. For many people, therefore, the name Mundeng is not simply the name of a historical person. It represents a much larger spiritual and cultural story. That is why a person publicly claiming a special connection with Mundeng can attract attention, but it can also create tension when the government becomes involved. And that appear to be what happened in Bentiu. So let's look at how the incident started. According to report, security forces went to arrest Taban Paul. The exact reason for the arrest has not been fully explained in the information available to us. That's one of the questions that authorities should clarify. Why did security force decide to arrest him? Was there a formal arrest order? What allegations were made against him? Were community leaders informed before the operation? And why was the operation carried out inside the camp during the afternoon? These questions are important because the location of the arrest created a serious security challenge. The Bentiu IDP camp is a crowded civilian settlement. It is not an isolated area. Thousands of displaced people live there. When security forces enter such an environment to arrest a person who has supporters, there is a risk that the situation can quickly become dangerous. According to local report, some of Taban Paul's followers refused to allow the security force to take him away. The disagreement reportedly became heated. People allegedly began throwing stones. The situation, then became more violent. There were reports of people using sticks and knives. Eventually, gunfire was also reported. According to the community high committee at the camp, the violence happened at around 4:40 p.m. in the afternoon. That was a time when many people were awake and moving around the camp. Children were outside, women were moving around, people were going about their daily activities. Then, suddenly, according to witnesses, violence broke out. Imagine being a mother inside that camp. You are going about your normal day. Maybe you are preparing food for your children. Maybe your children are playing outside. Maybe you are returning from the market. Then you hear people shouting. You hear stones eating things. You see people running. Then you hear gunshot. What would you do? Where would you take your children? Where would you hide? This is the fear that civilians can experience when violence happens in a crowded settlement. Now look at the report. 9 people reportedly killed. Local community representatives say the violence resulted in 9 deaths. 29 people were also reportedly injured, according to Nir Changfied, the chairperson of the community high committee at the Bentiu IDP camp. 26 civilian and 3 police officers were injured. He also said that several people remained missing after the incident. These numbers are serious, but we must also be careful. At this stage, the figures should be treated as reported casualty figures because they have not been independently verified. In a violent situation, casualty numbers can change as hospital families and authorities collect more information. Some injured people may go to different health facilities. Some people may leave the area without reporting their injuries. And some people may be temporarily missing because they fled during the violence. That is why a proper investigation is important. Family need accurate information. The public need accurate information. And the authority need to explain what happened. Let's look at this report. Communities leader are blaming the government. According to this information, Nirgat Changfied strongly criticized the government's handling of the situation. He argued that authorities knew the camp was filled with civilians. He specifically pointed to the presence of children and other vulnerable people. According to his account, authorities could have attempted the arrest or at another time, including at night, rather than carrying it out during the day. His argument raised larger issues. How should security force conduct arrests in crowded civilian areas? The government has a responsibility to enforce the law. If someone is accused of crime, authorities have the right to investigate and, where legally justified, arrest the person. But that responsibility must be balanced with another responsibility. The government must also protect civilians. The two responsibilities should not be treated as opposite. A professional security force should be able to force the law while reducing danger to innocent people. The goal should be to arrest the suspect without turning the entire area into a battlefield. That becomes even more important when the operation takes place inside an IDP camp. At the same time, the action of the prophet follower also need to be examined. So, but this shows clearly that the government has done wrong thing, because they know that IDP camp, those people who live there, they are all civilians. They are not armies. So, like what the chairman said, the government has done something wrong. Well, if you are new here to Changfied YouTube channel, I would like you to channel by subscribing. Turn on the notification bell so whenever we upload a new video, you can be notified. Thank you for watching and bye-bye.